Here it is, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Haha, you're watching Laz TV.
Released in January of 1997, Final Fantasy VII was released around the world for the Sony PlayStation. Released on 3 CD-ROMs, Square decided to put it on the PlayStation because, well, the Nintendo 64 wasn't going to be able to handle the game that they wanted to create. That's because this was the first Final Fantasy with cinematic scenes, as well as 3D graphics which were laid over 2D scenes. Additionally, this was the first Final Fantasy game released in the PAL region, which basically includes the entire world except Japan and North America. Having won many awards, it is widely considered the best in the series. So have you played Final Fantasy VII? Also, don't forget to join me on Twitch tonight at 8 PST. I had to make a second Final Fantasy VII video, so let's jump right in.
You're watching Laz TV.
So let's talk about what Final Fantasy VII brought to the series. Final Fantasy VII introduced the Limit Break, which of course is a high-powered move that you can only do after filling up the Limit Break meter. Final Fantasy VII also introduced mini-games to the series, including the Chocobo Racing, which was very important if you wanted to get the most powerful summon in the game, Knights of the Round. The Materia system also allows you to use combos, skills, and spells across all your characters for a high degree of character customization. So what was your favorite part of Final Fantasy VII? Don't forget to join me as we play Final Fantasy XIV tonight on Twitch at 8 p.m. PST. Let's get romantic with Final Fantasy VIII.
Haha, you're watching Laz TV.
Released for the PlayStation in 1999, Final Fantasy VIII is perhaps one of the most underrated Final Fantasy titles. The game's plot centers around a romance and a rivalry, and spoiler alert, it has a really cool false ending. FF8 had an interesting leveling system, which meant that the enemies in the game would scale to the average level of your party. Also included was the junction system, which was highly customizable, and it dealt with summons, character abilities, and spells. Most importantly, of course, is the triple triad card game, amazing minigame, and side quests. So let me know, did you like Final Fantasy VIII? We're playing Final Fantasy XIV tonight on Twitch, 8 p.m. PST. Better call Vivi, because we're talking about Final Fantasy IX.
You're watching Laz TV.
Released in the year 2000, Final Fantasy IX was the last of the main series Final Fantasy games released on the PlayStation. As the last game in the main series on the PlayStation, this game boasted incredible scenes, beautiful graphics, and iconic character design that stand the test of time. Final Fantasy IX also had a wonderful OST, but it was also the last game composed by Nobuo Uematsu. Introduced in this game was the active time event system, which allowed you to see different events happening around the world at the same time as the events happening to your main character. So what was your favorite part about Final Fantasy IX? Let me know. And don't forget to check me out on Twitch tonight at 8 p.m. PST.